Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into subqueries in DuckDB. And a subquery is a query nested inside another SQL query. And that means that it's enclosed in parentheses, and that one will execute first, resulting, and the result is used by the outer query. This can, for example, be used inside of select, from, where, or having clauses. It's quite useful for building up more complex queries, but if you are building really complex queries, you might be considering CTEs, which we will teach as well. There's another video where I'll cover CTE. However, for starting point, it's good to learn about subquery, that you have more tools in your arsenals. In this video, I will use some data that is generated with LLM. You will find that in my code repository in Github, which I will leave in the description, of course. I will go into Visual Studio Code now and will ingest the data first. Here I am in Visual Studio Code, and you can see there's this students here, which has student ID, grade math. This is basically the score, and we have the class names A, B, C, D, E. This is different classes. And we have different teachers that will teach different classes. We have class names here, we have teacher name here. Now we will insert this data using SQL and DuckDB, starting with Mehdir SQL, cd SQL, and here I will touch ingest data.sql and subquery.sql. Now you can see there's these two, and we'll go into ingest data directly. For ingesting data, we'll start with creating a schema if not exists, and I want to have the staging schema. This is the landing zone of the data. It's good to have a staging schema. Then we create table if not exists, staging dot students as select star from read CSV auto data / students.csv. I plan to run this query from outside, from the root where I can see data and SQL folder. And then I will copy this one and we will create another one that is called staging teachers. And I will change this to teachers as well. Basically, this is it. And now I will clean this terminal and I will do cd ... to jump up to the parents, and here I will do DuckDB data / I will put my DuckDB database file inside of the data folder. Like before, I usually put it outside, but yeah, you can put it inside. It depends on you, how you want it, and I just want to show you that it's possible. We can put it inside directly. Data, I will call this math score.duckdb. And I will do input redirection. I will go into the SQL and then ingest data. Now I have it. We will see if I do DuckDB data / math score.duckdb. Actually, I will do -UI. That will open up the UI. And here I can do desk directly. And you can see, yeah, we have the math score for staging. We have students and teachers. Great. Now let's start with subqueries. What I want to do is to get all the student score. If I do, for example, from staging students, and you can see these are the student scores. However, I want to filter out those students which have higher score than the average. That is the idea. To do that, we start with our select star from staging.students. And where, now we have this where class, we want to have the grade math. This is what we want to filter on, if I can type correctly. Math, grade math, it's larger than the average. To get the average, we need to do like this. A subquery, we do select average or grade math from staging students like this. Now you can see we have a subquery here. We can call this grade math larger than average score. Actually, the grade is a strange name. Maybe it should be called score, but it doesn't matter. This is the subquery. It's inside of parentheses. This will run first and we'll get the result, and then it will filter on the result. And after that, we can continue our query. So we can do order by grade math, for example. I will stop this one and put it in here. Let's see, syntax error at line 12. This is not allowed. Yeah, because it's a subquery. Now you can see that we only got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows, while here we only got 6 rows, and all of them are higher than the average. We can continue now. You can see this is the subquery. We have got out the average score, but just to see that we've gotten the average, we can take a look into from, let's see, select average grade math from staging of students. So just see that 84.2. All of those are higher than 84.2. Yes, that is correct. Let's continue with a multi-row subquery. The subquery will return multiple rows, and this is used it could be used in an in operator that you will check membership in, filter students in classes taught by one person. I will call this query that returns multiple rows, used in an operator to check membership, and we'll filter students in classes taught by Anna S. This is the idea. What we do is select star from staging.students where class name in, and here I will do my subquery. Select class name from staging dot teachers where teacher name equals Anna S. If you take a look into the teacher here from staging the teachers, and you can see there is several for Anna S. Where teacher name equals Anna S, then we'll get A and B here. This means we will filter out all the class name in A, B. We'll only get those with A, B. Let's run this one and we'll see. Yes, you can see we get only A and B here because those corresponds to where we have the teacher name Anna. And here we have used the teachers table in the subquery to actually filter out the staging.students. That is quite cool. And now we will go into something called a correlated subquery. Correlated subquery. The subquery depends on column values of outer query. The subquery is executed per row of the outer query, and it will filter students obtaining math grade higher than the average of their own classes. Filter students with math grade higher than average of their own classes. That is the idea of this one. Let's take a look into it and then explain more. Select star from staging.students S. I call it students S, where s.gradeMath is larger than, this is the subquery now, select average of grade math from staging.students where class name equals to s.class name. This is quite interesting. It's correlated, and I will explain why. We use this. Remember what I said here. Subquery depends on column values of outer query. This is the subquery inside here. It depends on this column, s.className, which is from the outside of this query, from this S table, this students table. We take a look, we find the class name, and we filter it based on that. It says that we get the average only from where class name equals s.className. Interesting. What will happen now? Now we will order by s.className. And then we take a look into these results here. Now you can see we get we select all of them where we have all the students which grade math are higher than those in the average of their own class. That means that you had, for example, we can take a look at from staging.students, we should have 10 rows, and you have 2 from each class, and now we have only 1 from each class. And that is logical because we have 1 will be above average and 1 will be below average, and now we have only those that are above average that are shown here. We have filtered out the best students in each class. That is what this query does. Quite cool, quite cool. Finally, I want to check the results. Check results of above by looking at average grade per class. Just take a look into that. We'll do select class name, comma, average of grade math as class average grade. And to find this one, we'll do a group by from staging.students group by class name. Copy this one. And we can take a look into here. Yes, and you can see that for A, we have 88.5. Yes, 92 is higher. B, 83. 88 is higher. C, 81. 95 is higher. D, 77.5. And here, 81 is higher. And E, 91. 93 is higher. Great, this was everything that I wanted to show you in the subquery video. We'll do Control D to close it down, and just to take a look, we don't have a .wal file. Now you should commit and push to your Git and GitHub repository. In this video, we have worked with subqueries, and we have shown different types of subqueries. We have ingested the data from the simulated data from LLM, and we have done some subqueries to do some different types of filtering using the where clause. You saw, for example, multi-rows, multi-column query where we can use it together with the in operators that we have checking the membership. We used the correlated subquery, for example, and then we check the results using a group by to see the actual results. I hope that you learned a lot in this video and that subqueries become another tool in your arsenal when you're working with SQL and DuckDB. I hope that you learned it, and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.